First
Moonknight
episode was
review
kind of
by a
good for me.
nerd.
Second
CT2.
episode, it got a little better. We got to know Mark and Steven, and they started working together. And episode 2, that was really good. Episode 3, I think this is when they go to Egypt. That story kept building up, and the plot kept moving on, and they kept adding like more characters and more stuff, and I was getting more excited. Episode 4 came out, and I was getting more excited. I didn't like they shot Moonknight at the end. I didn't know what they were gonna do with it. But episode 5, my favorite episode of the season, it was so good. Like, it dealt with a lot of like heavy shit with like DID and childhood trauma and all this stuff. And I didn't think like Marvel would go there. Like that, the kid literally gets beat with a belt. Unfortunately, a lot of us are like familiar with it. So yeah, they went like to a dark place. Not like super edgy or super gritty, just like a really dark place. And there wasn't a lot of action in this episode, which I like. It was just a lot of character building and, defining Mark and Steven. And we got a little bit of Jake in there. But yeah, I loved that episode. It was my favorite episode of the season. And unfortunately, with the last episode, Marvel did it again, and they rushed it. They did it with Hawkeye. They did it with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They did it with Loki. There was just so much going on, and so many plot lines, and so many characters that not a lot of it was resolved, or a lot of it was just rushed. And like the pacing in episode 5, I think it was great for what it did. It was just about character building and understanding Mark and Steven better. I thought the pacing in that episode was great, but in this episode, it just everything felt rushed, getting to the next point and getting to the next point. And I was a little bit disappointed because some of the heavier games you said in the last episode that were missing here was more like your typical like action scene in a Marvel movie. It was the big spectacle, but there wasn't a lot to connect with compared to the previous episode, so I was a little disappointed. But when they showed the post-credit scene about this episode, I liked that a little bit more. They didn't show like where they might go with the character, and also the complexity of those characters, because they show how Khonshu lied to Mark and Steven, and how he's gonna keep using them even though if they don't know it. Like that post-credit scene, I liked it a lot.